I'm about to start a really, really crazy conversation here, especially talking about illegal immigration. You know, if we were really have an honest conversation about call it what it is, you can't say that if you came here illegally, you're an immigrant. I disagree with you. I know that there are immigrants who came, but those immigrants come here legally through whatever means that they've done it legally. That you can't cross the border or from Mexico. And I'm not talking about necessarily Mexicans. Now I'm talking about anyone that goes to Mexico with Chinese or Muslim or whatever, Russian. And you cross over into this country and you say, now I'm here. Um, so now I want the same rights that all Americans have. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, look, people, our, our Constitution doesn't extend to non-citizens. I mean, you can't come here and be president or to vote because you're not a citizen of the United States. So how could you come and claim the same ownership, you know, as as and you're not a citizen? I mean, the country means well, and we want to, excuse me, we want to help people, but we can't help everybody. We need to take care of our citizens. Like, no, and I know I shouldn't say this because I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail. Like Donald Trump is doing. Okay, guys, I don't think that he's the best of presidents. No, but you got to admit that for those of us who wanted some rule of law, look at who's talking about rule of law, black men. Who just look down the barrel of many of the police for no reason. Cars taken from me. Not have all these bad experiences, police officers. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Not all of those cops are racist and bad. I gotta say, I'm for what's right. You know, and everything ain't about race. Every time a black person is pulled over, it's not because the cop is racist. I don't believe that either. But I definitely know for a fact that if we allow people to keep continuously coming to our country, whoever they are, whether they're black, they're brown, they're whatever, white, whatever color they are, and they're doing it illegally, it needs to stop. That is the one thing that I'm extremely happy with Donald Trump. And here's the thing that you got to understand something. I supported President Obama both times, and I still think he's a great man. But President Obama actually spoke on the behalf of illegal immigrants. Made it said, well, we need to make a right for them. Well, let me ask you something. Look at me. I'm a black man. My roots, I'm born in Alabama here. My roots is from slavery. You know, there's this thing called reparations for slaves or the ancestors or out from our ancestors back in the day. A little tongue tied here. And not one time, not even President Obama or nobody in Congress said that no, or mentioned that. In fact, one person did it. I think it was what was the guy named Bernie Sanders, who's running for president. He was on a did an interview one time and he said this. He said one of the news reporters asked him, "Do you think black folks should get reparations?" And he immediately said no. So okay, Bernie Sanders, Mr. Sanders, what is your why? Tell me why you disagree with that. I mean, that was a crime against happened against my culture, us as a people, and you don't think that we should be compensated for that? Now, explain that to me. I'm going to hear you out. You know, I'm listening. You can email me at charlesking at gmail.com. You can email me. But I'm telling you, I asked Mr. Sanders, I would ask him, Bernie Sanders, what vote did he cast when Ronald Reagan paid the Japanese for being in an internment camp for 5 years or more or so down during World War II? What did you vote for that, Bernie? And if you did, don't you think that us as a people suffered far more than the Japanese did during World War II for over 150 years? And you disagree with compensation? Hey, Bernie, there's your pitch. Say something. So I mean, that's how I see that. But now, when it comes to immigration, Bernie Sanders says they should be put on a path to citizenship. Okay, I disagree. I'm with Republicans on this. You can say that black folks shouldn't have reparations, but you want to give away citizenship to millions of undocumented people who came here and broke our laws. How do you justify that, Bernie? Hmm. Could it be that you can't see me either? I'm just a little too dark. And besides, you wouldn't be doing black folks a favor. I mean, look at slavery was a really, really bad blight on this country, man, and we're still dealing with it. But here's why I stand and feel the way that I feel about immigration. In case you guys thinking why is this man being such a racist? Let me say this. Here's why. Because for one reason, look, immigrants have a right to be here, to come to this country. They do. They have a right to be here. They have a right to come here. I don't have a problem with that. But here's what I have a problem with, guys. When you come here illegally, break all of our laws, and there is no consequence. I mean, it really isn't for you breaking the law. Anyone else break the law, there's a penalty to pay. If anybody breaks the law, there's a price to be paid. But some people can come and break the law and nothing happens. Nothing happens to them. They can function, they can get a driver's license, they can put their kids in school, and nothing goes wrong. Nothing happens to them. And you all think that or some of you think that that's fair. But yet, our senator, which is Bernie Sanders, don't think that black folks should have reparations. Well, for that matter, I never hear anybody asking for reparations, saying that we deserve, or black folks deserve to be paid for how we were treated for like hundreds of years. I mean, what happened? People think that, the work that was put in that allowed these people that break the law was on the back of our ancestors. And we don't deserve anything? Okay, well, All righty. But let me say this. And the very same politicians will stand up on the behalf of people who are not entitled to the rights that black folk get, and yet they do not speak out on the behalf of black people. Only if you want to vote. I say black folks need to start looking at other ways. We should not even be Democrats or Democrat or Republican. We should be independent, and we should vote with the persons or party who have our interests at heart. That's what we should do. In fact, that's what I'm going to set out to do, is start an independent party for black folks who, let's not cast our vote unilaterally to everybody. For everyone, well, the Democrats say, well, they black, they're going to vote for us anyway. We don't have to give them anything. That's been going on too long. I want the issues heard that that's bothersome or worrisome in our community, like police and crime and heavy over policing, the lack of respect. Look, the illegal immigrants can get politicians to pass laws to go to, and even stand up and have judges say, block President Trump's order from sanctuary cities. And that only benefits illegal immigration. It doesn't, by him telling the people, standing up, I don't get any benefit from a law being passed like that. There's no such a law. Every law that was passed for a black person, everybody else benefited from it. Everyone. But when you pass a law just to be beneficial for illegal immigrants, only that person, illegal immigrants, get benefits from that law. That is why our system is in such turmoil, because there are some on the right, on the left, will not talk about this openly and honestly, will not call it for what it is. It is wrong to choose sides. We shouldn't have to choose sides when the law should apply to us all equally, each and every one of us. If you did something that is illegal, let's call it as illegal. If you did something that's legal, let's call it legal. But we should not be pretending that that there is nothing to talk about and, oh, those people are immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're illegal immigrants. That's the true term. Donald Trump or Barack Obama or George Bush, nobody is talking about deporting anybody legal. He's not against immigrants. He is passing a law against illegal immigrants. And listen, my friends on the left, MSNBC, whom I watch faithfully, you know, there is people on that have a program, and then all they talk about is how people are against immigrants because they said that they broke the law. No, they're not. They are not against immigrants. They're against illegal immigration. So let's call it for what it is. I'll tell you another thing. MSNBC has changed since the election. Like, seems to me like all the people that was on Fox are now on MSNBC. And all the black folk, they gone. MSNBC that got mighty white. Have anybody noticed that besides me? And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. I'm saying, but hey, man, Greta Van Susteren is on MSNBC. I used to watch that lady on Fox, and she would put Obama down like, I mean, just call him all kinds of names for no reason. And now she's on a liberal talk show, a television station. Well, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm streaming, on the internet. Because there's no truth. I mean, I would watch Fox News, even over, what's his name? Bill O'Reilly. I thought he was crazy. And it's really, speaking of O'Reilly, isn't it funny how that man would give Obama such a hard time and talk about how feckless or uneducated he was, or how he didn't have sense to do none of the things that he said that that he's not sure about his grades. And guess what O'Reilly is now? He's fired because he's I won't call him a molester, but he's definitely, what is he? I don't even know what you call him, but you can't call him righteous. He's not even on, he don't have his television show anymore. He don't have the platform to spew the hatred that he did when Obama was in the White House. And you know something else? Listen, look at how Donald Trump is nowhere near the president that Barack Obama was. You do not hear people saying negative things on MSNBC, on Fox, nowhere like they treated Obama. Because they could not get past Obama was a black man. Let's just face it. President Obama had to put up with some mighty, mighty bad, nasty things. He did it with class. He did it with grace. And everybody, you all know that if Obama was dirty, if he was dirty, he wouldn't have been in the White House. Black men speaking here. I can tell you stories about, when cops pulled me over and asked me, I bought a new car, and he says, hey, man, do you know you don't have license plates on your car? I go like, officer, they don't put license plates on new cars. And this guy went through my car, and he looked at the RS sticker in the window. He said, oh, you stole this car. This is a true story. I said, really? So I'm going to jail. So I don't want to get into it. Long story short is, they did not arrest me. They arrested the car. The man took my car because he said I stole it and let me go. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy, but that's what happened. But the thing that I'm thankful about is that, You didn't shoot me. I guess I could be thankful for that. I mean, and I'm not making these things up. This has happened to me several times in Los Angeles. Yes, it has. But I'm truly, truly, truly happy for just this small platform here to share my opinion with people because I want to talk about what's real. I'm not here to put anybody down or to make fun of anyone, but I am here. I am going to speak truth to power. I'm not going to take sides with someone because they're black or they're homosexuals or all that stuff. If it's wrong and I think it's wrong, I'm gonna tell you it's wrong. Me personally, I'm gonna speak my piece, and for those who don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. Don't listen. Don't pass me by. But do not think for one moment that I'm not going to say it the way it is, because I am, or the way I see it at least anyway. I think that we should all be held accountable. You know, like when my friends that that they tell me what cops are what do they say? They are corrupt. So no, they're not. You can't say that all police officers are corrupt because they're not. I know some good police officers. And who are we gonna call? And one of these persons, and the fact of the matter is, this was a friend of mine, and it's mighty strange. I recall her telling me one time she had to call the police, and I won't bother going into that, but she did call those corrupt police that she says corrupt today. So I asked her about it. I said, "Well, were they corrupt when you called them? Then why'd you call them?" Because we have to have police officers, people, and every police officer is not out to kill black folk. They're not out to hate black folk. They're just out there to do a job and go home to their family. And when we start speaking the truth about what it is and not categorizing police officers, because there are some racist cops. I'm not saying that there is, but here's what I fought the office for, or the police community for, is the moment that a cop, I mean, we can see things happen with our eyes, our lying eyes. And the police will allow these people to run for cover behind the shield and protect them from the very community that they got to go out and police. Don't make any sense. And speaking of police, back to immigrants, by the way, do you hear the reason that they say is, well, we don't want to get rid of sanctuary cities because we want these people to be able to come forward if they're crime committed. Hello, they already committed a crime. They're here illegally. Arrest them. You would arrest black folk? Does anybody out there in internet land believe that 11 million black people will be allowed, or 20 million black folk, illegal black folks, that mind you, would be allowed to run around in this country illegally, stand on the street corner? Hell no. That would not happen. Man, if you had 100 illegal black folks in this country, they would be deported. Trust me. Yes. Man, they ain't gonna go for that. And why am I feeling the way? Because, listen, why we don't have nothing really in common with Hispanics or groups that are here illegally? What do we have in common with them? Or Asians that are here illegally? These people want a piece of the pie, and they want it any way they can get it. And what are they doing? They're getting it illegally. Everybody's turning their head and saying it's okay. Tell me when half heads been turned for a black person to get anything? I'm not asking for anything. Even the opportunity that we deserve, we have to jump through extra hoops to get that. You got people here illegally, man, on Section 8. And is that legal? They do it all the time. A friend of mine who lives in Long Beach, California, has been on the Section 8 voucher, that program, for 20-something years and hasn't gotten it. And there are illegal immigrants who got a Section 8 voucher. How the hell does that work? Tell me. How do I know? Because they did have a cleansing or whatever, an audit of the system. And it was like Hundreds of illegal immigrants had those vouchers. How did they get them? There was a city it was in Vail, California, where they had a mayor, city manager. Look, the mayor of the county of the city, small city near Linwood somewhere, was he an illegal immigrant? He was a mayor. How are you gonna be an illegal immigrant and be a mayor? But it was. So they had a city council meeting, and they were city councilmen. And the sheriff went in and arrested all of them. Funny. Yes, it's funny because people like that. If you're not black, you can get away with that stuff. There's no way that you're gonna have a black man being elected as a mayor and he's illegal, and nobody says anything. Well, I'll tell you, I'm here at CKG Talk Radio and studio, whatever you want to call this. We are going to talk about the issues. We are not going to pretend that, I don't let the chips fall where they may. I don't know if they fall on black, let it. White, let it. Brown, let it. Brown again, let it. Asian, let it. If there are wrong people, we need to call them out. That's how we save our country, by speaking truth to power. You know, when Obama was in the White House, when he was in the White House, he tried to give everybody a shot. Hmm? I don't know. We as a people have a tendency to want to be fair to everybody but ourselves. We want people to have the same shot that we have, but it's other people who don't want us to have. They don't want us to have. They don't care. They don't care about being fair. But if we want our country to be strong and to grow, we have to call it the way we see it. And you know what else? When it comes to race, when it comes to every time something happens to a black individual, he want to put race in there. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. It should be a law. Don't if it's racial, yes, let it come out. But don't just say that it's race because you don't like a person or you're being hateful. I mean, I'm not saying black people are innocent. I'm not. I'm going to talk about anyone that that do the things that they do. Like for instance, excuse me. I don't know if it's here in California we have a serious issue with illegal dumping. You know, and here I go. I'm gonna tell you, I was like, man, that ain't nobody but the Mexicans. Them illegals dumping. This is me saying this. Yep, that's illegal, and I did see some dumping. That's true, and that's all I saw. The dumping was illegal immigrants. And how do I know? Because they're no longer here, and they did get rounded up and arrested. I saw that take place. But here's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. But it wasn't just illegal. It was some black folks doing this on a regular. Do you hear me? I mean, in broad daylight, I happened to come home one day, and I'm driving down the street, and this guy, he was just up in this truck in broad daylight, like he was in his backyard. I'm just gonna dump this, and nobody gonna say nothing. Lo and behold, a police officer, one of those criminals y'all talking about, or corrupt men, came by. I was so glad, and he pulled there, and this guy had unloaded a ton of stuff off this truck. He backed right up there and sat there and waited till he loaded a ton of that stuff back on that truck. It was so, and ever since that officer caught those people at that location, I go by there now, They don't dump there no more. They don't. Dumping is a bad plight on our land. We have some beautiful scenery here, especially in Northern California. It's beautiful. I mean, you can drive out in the backwoods and, or roads and go through the vineyards, and it's a wonderful, serene. It's just a beautiful drive. And then you run up on a refrigerator or a couch, or somebody done threw a mattress out in back here where it should be nothing, just as pristine as forever. Cows in the meadow, hawks and all kinds of wildlife running around, and then you run up on this crap. There should be a heavy penalty for those fools as well too. Anyone that is breaking the law, we should throw the book at them. Yes, we should. We should not allow, we should just call it the way it is. We should not make no bones about if you're doing something wrong, you should be punished for it. And let me say this, I want to make an apology to a young lady. I was in the shopping center the other day, and these two ladies were walking across the crosswalk, and the little son was pushing their grocery cart, and I wasn't paying attention. And I didn't hit the little kid, but I did come across the bump, and this lady started cursing and making me feel bad. So I stopped my truck and I got out and I go, "What the f did you say?" And really, what I wanted to do is apologize to the lady, because God knows it was not my intent to hurt this little kid. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone's child, you know. So if you all remember that, the two ladies and the little boy, we was at Walmart. And I want to truly apologize, because I didn't see the kid and I wasn't trying to hurt him. And if I was rude to you, I do sincerely apologize for that, because that is not what I do. I don't hate anyone, or and I don't want to make anyone feel bad. Maybe some people are feeling bad about me feeling about this way about illegal immigration, but that's what I believe. I just believe what I believe, and I'm not seeking any man's or anyone's approval. I'm just sharing a thought. I'm not trying to recruit anybody, but if someone want to have a conversation or share their opinion with me, this is a live stream. It's live streaming on YouTube, and you can contact me. I'm sure all the information is there. You can chat with me. I mean, all of this. I'm open to that. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid for your insults. I'm not afraid for you to, whatever you say. I'm just not afraid. And it does not bother me. It doesn't. It just, because you're entitled to it. You're entitled to feel the way you feel, and I'm okay with it. So I think what I'll do is probably put a little into this and come back some other time and see if I've done this correctly. This is the first time I've ever done a stream or a live video. So, guys, if I've made a lot of mistakes, I promise that it'll get better when I understand more about what I'm doing. I'm not one to tell you that I'm a pro at this, because I'm not. I just want to use the platform that I have before me to share whatever good information to people that I can. And speaking of that, let me say this before I'm out of here. I believe that we all should be Americans first and not Republicans or Democrats when it comes to the Russians. I don't know if I don't hate the Russians. I know they don't like me simply because I'm a black man, and I know that. But that's okay. I don't care about a person not liking me because I'm black. I'm cool with that. I don't like some women because they skinny. So that's, hey, what you like, what you like. But I'm just saying we should be Americans first, and we should defend our country, all of us. And if something went on, and I'm hoping that Donald Trump doesn't get impeached, because if he do, who else gonna stand up for illegal immigrants like he does? I think, like I said, I don't think he's very bright. But I think he got some good people around him to maybe get us through this. Now, when I can't say him, this is us guys. We're in this with this guy. We're in this with him all the way. So, like it or not, he's all we got as president. We need to give him the respect that he did not give to President Obama. But we're not like everybody. We don't, you can't treat a person bad because they did something to you. Let us be Americans first. Let us stand for what's good in our country. And this is a beautiful country. And I'm like I said, where I came from, I can tell you about times that I would have to go in the back door. I couldn't go in the front door simply because of my skin color. It does not change how great and how wonderful and how glad I am to be living in this country. I've been, and I was in the Marine Corps, and I've been in a lot of places. And I'm gonna tell you, there's no place. When I say there's no place, there is no place like the United States. That's home for me, and I'm grateful. I'm truly, truly grateful that I have a part of this. That this is where I call home. I got a lot of issues, but it's platforms like this where we can talk these things out. That we don't have to take up arms and kill each other. We don't even have to like each other. All we have to do is respect each other. So let us do that. Let us just respect each other. And hey, let's go for what we know. So again, this is truly, truly a wonderful platform to have. So as I said, I'm gonna try to here. This is what I'm gonna call it quits for a minute. Then I'm gonna try to edit this thing and check it out and see if I did it correctly. If we're really bad, guys, I'm taking it down and start over. Okay, CKG Talk Radio. We want to hear from you.